cardstock the ring of the night. So, the way that this is going to work, I'm going to be pulling a Dark Goddess Oracle card as well as a Daemon Tarot Oracle card. Then after that, we will then go into the actual tarot part. Please bear in mind, this is primarily focused on somebody having an Aries ascendant. So if you know your astrology chart, then you look at your rising sign. However, if you don't know your astrology chart, you don't know what your rising sign is, or you can't figure it out, it's okay, you can stick with your sun sign. Cross watchers, even though I kind of detest that, you can cross watch, but here's the thing you got to keep in mind. If you don't know the other person's ascendant that you're watching and keeping tabs on, it's probably best that if you watch their sun sign video, it's probably not going to fit with them. The reason why I say ascendant is because the ascendant is your actual life path and how it's laid out, because it's like your everyday experience. So you'll be getting one Dark Goddess Oracle, and this is the same for all signs. The Daemon Tarot, one of those. And then your tarot deck for this month is the traditional... Hello! Whoop. Is the traditional manga tarot. I figure it'd be, kind of cutesy to go from like a cute tarot deck to a little Dark Goddess tarot, and then the Daemon tarot. Okie doke. So we will start with the Dark Goddesses first, and we'll see who comes out. Because usually, what I like to do in readings like this, I usually pull 3 Dark Goddess Oracles, but if I did pull 3 for every sign, that would take probably a little too long, and I'm only going to do up to Cancer tonight. So what on earth is this goddess is going to come out and teach us today? Which one's going to come out and say, yoo-hoo, I'm the one you need to pay attention on? We have Gaia for creation. So, if there is an endeavor that you're wanting to initiate and actually start investing in, well, Aries, that's actually fitting for you, because Aries is actually the sign of taking initiative and, taking swift action. And specifically this month, you should actually consider, starting to go towards something new, like a new relationship, new endeavor, new investment, new passion, even new way of getting motivation and motivating yourself, or just creating something new and starting a new venture. And since Gaia is a very practical, down-to-earth, realistic, and pretty grounded type of a divine, you can kind of expect it may take some time to get this going, but since Aries is very initiative and takes swift action, it may actually come at a very, it's not too fast, but not too slow. It grows how it's supposed to go, because if something grows too fast right away, it'll fall as soon as it got up. But if it takes too long, you might get impatient. But that is just like a perfect balance right there. Because some things take a long time to form, and when they take the long time to form, they actually are more beneficial. Good example is like gemstones and crystals. Because these things took a while to form. They can't just be like crystal. Because if that would be the case, I'd be snapping my fingers every 2 seconds. And then regarding the Daemon Tarot. Oh, getting old. Oh, my back. Ah. We have the President Bear. I believe that's his name. And Bear is a very, very philosophical and very intelligent left-handed divine. He's very good with philosophy, he's good with all the arts, and he's very, very clever in the way that he teaches, because he's also believed to be the representation of Sagittarius. So when it comes to, alongside Gaia, possibly when you're creating something, or starting something brand new, or making a new investment, probably think about some other, I would have to say, more wise choices with it. Or if you're going with a new relationship, possibly consider only dating somebody who has like a higher philosophy. Like they have a more like more enhanced form of thinking, if that makes sense. Like if it's a more educated. But also, if you're going towards something, like if you're trying to create like a new passion to go into, make sure it's actually benefiting your intelligence and your wisdom. And if it doesn't benefit your wisdom or doesn't give you any kind of intelligence, it's probably best to stay away from it. But when it comes to like building security, make sure that you have somebody who's like a guru figure, and that because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, who is a guru. Make sure that it never has a guru's guidance or a teacher's guidance or somebody who has experience in it. Because if you have that kind of experience and guiding you with that, you'll be less prone to making whoopsies, and we don't want whoopsies. So now for the tarot, all the signs are going to be getting a basic cross spread, which is one in the middle, one in the top, bottom, left, right. Or left. You get the idea. The one that's in the middle is pretty much your spirit and your current standing and how internally you are, like how you're internally standing right now. Like your soul standing. We have the Knight of Swords, and again, we're going with the whole theme of going with initiative, because Aries and the Knight of Swords are similar energies, except Knight of Swords is air and air. You can kind of expect in your current standing that you're wanting to take action towards an investment and you want to go Hong Kong Cookie face first with it. And kind of the way that he is sitting on his pony, he looks kind of a little timid. But then again, that could also be the Gaia aspect coming in as well. That might be a sense of like hesitation and a little bit of fear, or like something is still trying to intimidate you from going face first, or something's trying to be a little bit too practical and is trying to discourage you, possibly. But because the Knight of Swords, again, is air and air, he's in his own element, so he knows how to go about something. It's like the it's like shooting first and then asking the questions. He's quick, he can handle it, but with this depiction, he's a little timid. So he knows how to take the action. You know how to take the action. It's just that possibly it's best to really analyze all of the options first and making sure that you understand where you're going to be jumping face first in. Now it's going to go earth, air, fire, water, like based on those areas of life. Financial standing, security, abundance, health, death, and all that. And sense of growth. We have the Page of Cups. This depiction, we have a fantastical male, looks like, and he's, having a cup. Actually, this looks like a bowl, and there's a fish flying out of it, like going to go kiss him on the nose. And the ground is like all bubbly. But in this depiction, you can kind of see that maybe regarding your financial standing, someone's trying to woozy-woo you. They're trying to make you think, oh, I can probably take this new job. I can probably take this, little job. It'll give me a lot of money in return. Or maybe regarding your health, you actually might be starting to connect to someone who is actually going to be helping your sight, because in order for him to see that, he's going to have to be able to see it with his sight. He's going to have to be able to use his eyes. And since it's an illusion, make sure that whoever is having challenges with their sight or like being able to see properly, make sure that they actually get their vision checked, possibly this month, because they might be seeing things that are not as they should be, or their eyesight is not on par. That can be taken in many ways. I'm not saying that, oh, they might go blind. No. But also maybe it might be a time to consider maybe thinking about long-term investments that may seem like going to Candyland, if that makes sense. Maybe they might be fanciful, but the thing is that all fantasies always start in the head. And in order for fantasies to actually come true, you have to be taking physical action and you have to be physically investing in it with like finances and stuff. Just make sure that you're not being woozy-wooed and into spending whimsically. For air, the element that's all about intelligence, exchanging ideas, communicating, going to school and learning a new subject and investing time in that. It is also mental work and what sorts? We have the He Who font. Okay. The He Who font. Which is funny because Mayor, is Sagittarius. And what did I say Sagittarius is? A guru. What's the Hierophant? He's a guru! No, really, he is because he's the Pope. But the way that he teaches is by intimidating you. If you don't believe what I believe in, you're going to hell. But still, in the spot of communications and learning a new subject, this is a good card to have there because you have someone who's an elder figure possibly teaching you something that's traditional. You actually might be wanting to learn some subjects regarding of a tradition, like from different cultures. You actually might be communicating with a figure that has a lot of wisdom and is really phenomenal in guiding people. Just make sure that this figure is also not a big know-it-all and is like, well, it has to be like this because I said so and I have these many pins on my shirt. No, no. If somebody is giving you guidance and is guiding you truthfully and wanting the best for you, that is how a guru needs to be. And they don't restrict what you're supposed to be learning. They give you as much intelligence and as much wisdom as they possibly can. They don't restrict it. And they're really good at advising you. Regarding the it's the obstacle or the motivating force, and that's your flaming. That just sounded weird. So, obstacle, but also the motivating force. Obstacle is High Priestess. Possibly you might be in positions where you have to observe and you really have to not say anything. Just observe and just not even react. That might be an obstacle. But the motivating force is that you actually be developing your intuition and you'll be able to see what's not really being seen by anybody else, which is, again, an intuition. But as well, since the High Priestess is also potentially being an obstacle for you, if you did something that you weren't supposed to do, it's okay. Just know that the one that you possibly harmed already knows about it. It'd be probably best to, spill the beans and admit the sorry and try and fix it. But also with a motivating force, someone saw your good deed and they noticed it. Like if you're trying to impress someone, they noticed that little thing that you did that they like doing, and they jotted it down and they're keeping it in the back of their mind. But also maybe also consider reading more spiritual books or more self-help books because again, you now have the High Priest, that's the He Who font, and the High Priestess. So consider going towards a elder figure for the masculine and a kind of a priestess figure or like a middle-aged woman for helping getting your motivation up. But also the Hierophant is mainly the one there to help guide you in it. But also you might feel challenged that you're not being able to properly listen because there's some other thing that's trying to get your focus and is pretty much distracting you. But that's why you have to keep focused and just not budge because the High Priestess just sits like that, doesn't say a word, and then when you try and speak, she goes, "I already know." That's how she goes. And okay, keep going. Regarding relationships, the lovey-dovey, the cheesy stuff, the Romeo noticed me because, that's how Shakespeare wanted it to be. We have Judgment. Or we're blowing it wide open, wakey. Okay. So regarding the relationship sector and emotions and stuff like that, you might begin tested to see if you have actually learned a lesson regarding a relationship between you and somebody else. Or maybe you might be potentially dating someone or going to meet someone or interact with someone that's just the same cycle thing that you've gone through with the last ex over and over again. This is testing you to see, are you going to go with this again? Or are you going to surpass it? But also, if you're already with somebody, this might be a time to reconnect with one another and to see if there's anything that is not upholding the relationship. But if you're married with someone, this is a time to probably re reinstate the vows and consider being more open to having negotiations with it, making sure that everybody's on the same page and being heard. But also, this is also I have to say this, but also potentially if you happen to have a love interest that you were once with, and if you're wondering if there's potential for them to return, this might be an indication, possibly. But again, High Priestess as your obstacle or motivating force, you have to be able to listen and you have to be observant. But if you can't observe, if you can't focus, you may not be able to see that you're being tested and you might go through it all over again. So make sure you have grounded wisdom from an elder figure that's gone through something that you've gone through. So that way you don't get woozy wooed with it. So the biggest thing that I'm saying, make sure that the thing you're going to be investing in, even though it might intimidate you, just know that you're clear to create it. Just make sure you have the wisdom for it. Make sure you're able to see it and make sure you're able to comprehend it and also probably invest to it in a way that's practical and not woozy wooey. Get guidance from elder figures to make sure that you tackle this head on properly. Make sure you listen and also be observant about who's teaching you this. Because at the end of the day, if your spirit's being tested and your intuition is being tested, just make sure you're not timid. Make sure you go face first, Aries. Don't be afraid to run over someone. Bonus points if you do, and bonus points if they go off into the sunset like Team Rocket going, "We're blasting off again." Get the idea. So Aries, that was your. I'm just gonna call this the D&D because it's Dark Goddess and Demon Toro. I don't know. I got nothing, but that's your reading for March. Next up's going to be Taurus, and after Taurus is Gemini, and then after that's Cancer, and then I'm off for the night. So if you want to keep watching, just pretty much just hover my channel, I guess. But other than that, that was it. And then I'll see you guys on the next one in like 2 seconds.